Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, citizens, residents, visitors, and welcome back to the Cravenstown streaming complex on this Sunday, the 12th of May 2019. And if it's your very first time here, a very warm welcome to the Craven's channel and the Cravenstown streaming complex for Story Sunday. How the devil are you, Citizen Effects? It is good to see you. Apologies for the slightly later start today, folks. No real major excuses. I was just really hungover. Yeah, I was trying to just get my energy up enough to be energized to go and be good. How am I doing? Just a bit concerned. Alright, I'm not dropping any frames. That's good. It's just a slight local delay. I've got the game running in the background because it's got some long loading times. We'll get to that. But welcome today we are gonna do our first ever episode of Krayven Reads Reddit, dedicated the first hour of Story Sunday. I'm going to try it out. It's going to be an inaugural little attempt. It's going to be... Hey, Darkins, I finally caught it ahead of time.
Krayven.
How you doing? How you doing, mate? By the way, how's the background music for the warm-up? Does it need to come down a bit? Is it too high, too low? Citizen Decadency, Citizen Darkins, thank you so much for the 75 biddies. I appreciate it. I know. Once, finally, I was like, aha. I'm usually so bloody oblivious to it. Thank you all the same. Better luck next time. Yeah, after we gave a little trial of this, those of you who don't already know, those of you just tuning in, a little bit of jest chatting. The first hour of Story Sunday, based on a request and input from a couple of you to try it out and do it, that you'd be interested, you'd like it to see it as a good idea. In my 1 year streamiversary, in the 1 year celebrations, we did a couple of hours of me going through and reading Reddit stories, like from some of the better and funnier channels in my delightful reading voice, apparently. So I opted, considering that turned to be quite a relative success in terms of people's interest and putting things forward and so on and so forth. I thought, right, you know what, we'll run with this. Let's give it a little try as part of the regular lineup. So if this goes well, if it proves to sort of, well, brings people in, there's a genuine interest for it, there's reasonable viewing figures for it, all that general good kind of stuff, then yeah, it'll become a regular fixture, and the first hour of Story Sunday will be like this. It'll be a bit of jest chatting, it'll be a little bit of a extended warm-up, chill out, how you doing, a bit of funny stories, and then we'll do the remaining 3 or so for Pillars of Eternity. So it'll take a bit longer to get through our Story Sunday games, but I think it's quite nice. I've also always wanted, or for quite early on, wanted to find a way to include a jest chatting component, just a nice little bit of back and forth, a bit of IRL, something for a more extended part as part of my regular lineup, because I like it, it works, we're a very positive community, it suits the kind of person I am and the kind of content I like to make quite well as well. And also it's really nice that folks have been contributing, and thank you, those of you, Darkins, and I think we had one from Joe and a couple of others, and Lila, for putting in some particular Reddit threads, some stories that you've come across that you think are going to be fun or interesting, that or engaging or otherwise decent, that you think you'd like me to read out and share with everyone else out loud in the community, and keep them coming in. Either put them in the suggestions forum in the streaming complex in Cravenstown itself, and of course links are allowed. Links are currently allowed in the chat, so if you have come across a good one, like on Lady I Don't Work Here, or Today I Fucked Up, or something like that, then yeah, sort of drop them in. I will select others in my own time to keep things going until we've sort of taken about an hour of that. Oh, okay, is it too loud? It keeps fluctuating. Right, let me... Is that a little better, or does it need to come down further? I just thought it's quite nice to have some background music when I'm doing these warm-up bits and pieces. I'll turn it off for like Krayven Reads Reddit properly, but in the warm-up. Is that better? It constantly, these damn playlists have got different volume levels, and I can never know. Even when I'm looking at my desktop audio, sometimes I've watched the VOD back and the VOD, like, it's barely audible. I'm like, oh shit, I thought it was louder than that, so I put it up, and then it's like, oh, and then another one comes in and it's drowning me out. All right, thanks Darkins, thank you, that's better. Good, jolly good. About between minus 40 and minus 35. Excellent. How are you all doing? How's your weekend been? Have you had a good time? Obviously the last time I caught you all was Thursday. We did a bit of Tactical Thursday, and yeah, shorter stream, and I've had it's been good. What have you been up to? Catch me up on your weekends if you're so inclined. For my own part, I had a very quiet Saturday, very quiet Friday, just chilled, been drawing away. I'm really getting quite far along now with the new legit emote. I'm expecting to have that finished very soon, which is good. I appreciate we've been very patient waiting for it, and then I'll be getting cracking on with the others, because we've got more than enough citizens at the moment to merit the full slot open to affiliates. I imagine that'll probably drop off again before I've gotten them all done, but that is underway, and that's good. The schedule this week is looking pretty normal. We've got obviously tonight, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. It should be Thursday, maybe switching up, maybe changing a little. Keep your eyes peeled for subtle countdown announcements. Very, very subtle. You might not. You'd be very struggle to guess what might be coming. But yeah, just you know, it's just there. If you just see like a little 5, maybe a 4, perhaps even a 3 after that coming. You know, not gonna give too much away. Not gonna hint. Yeah, so Friday just chilled in, did my own thing, worked away on a few bits and pieces, and just had some downtime after doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday back to back, doing all the content for you delightful folks, and it delights me so very much. But Saturday, yes, yesterday, and why I'm running a little bit late today. I'm always when I'm on a bit later and feeling a little bit more with Story Sunday, is because your humble mayor is rocking a not so humble hangover. I went back to London. I went for my first, night out in London. It was actually a house party at a good friend's house, but my first social occasion in London since I moved away about 7 weeks ago already now. It's really flown by. Bruh, I hate the anti-vaping ads. There are sorry, Hernandez, there's anti-vaping ads. And hello, good evening, resident Hernandez. I wish I had some say over the advertising that appears if you're not a citizen. I have none. It's completely randomized and decided by Twitch. I also don't see any revenue from it because I'm not a partner, so that tiny fraction that apparently partners get from ad revenue doesn't even come my way. I am so sorry. Yes, as Darkin says, I likewise have never seen an anti-vaping ad on Twitch. At the moment, the one that's coming up in my rotation when I'm going to all the Twitch streams where I don't or can't afford, I don't have a full sub, it's just been Borderlands 3. I've had nothing but just Borderlands 3, which I'm not complaining about. It looks fantastic, but yeah, anti-vaping. Maybe it's... Yes, man, I use vapes every day to keep off the cigarettes. Fair enough. I no idea. Perhaps it's targeted advertising. I think perhaps because or they just overload it in certain countries of like what you can get. But yeah, if you enjoy vaping and it's to keep you off the cigarettes, and it's definitely better than cigarettes, then I can see the anti. By the way, Rage 2 comes in 2 days. It does look very cool. I'm seeing when I was on the underground, I was going through London yesterday. Oh, is that? Yeah, that's still coming at a reasonable level. I was going through the London Underground, the Tube, at least on the Bakerloo line. I imagine most of the rest of it, Victoria. Huge Rage 2 posters everywhere. They've really, the developers and the publisher of Rage, whoever it is, have gone to town on their. I didn't realise how hard they were pushing it, because Rage 1 was a decent game, but I didn't think it was one of those real, like, huge cultural flashpoints. So the degree to which they're really like pushing it and marketing it, I can't, Hernandez. It's way too new. My PC can't handle it. And even if it could, I've got the backlog. I have to do a little. It would fit in only on Monday, and obviously Fallout New Vegas is on Monday at the moment until I really finish that. I can't just like, oh, I'll put that on. My PC would melt. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't do a great lot about it, and I've got a few things that I'd like to sort of get through. Chances are, if any of the new games coming out of FPS of that nature, if I have a new PC sort of ready in time for them, would probably be Borderlands 3 would get some preference ahead of that, because just the Borderlands world is so good. I played the demo of Rage. It was a pretty decent demo. I remember doing that at one of the conventions I went to last year. I think it was EGX, yeah, the big EGX convention in Birmingham. That was it. Last October, and it was solid. It was a solid game. I had fun with it, but it wasn't sort of like the one that really gripped me and has made me go, I must play that, is Cyberpunk 2077. If I've got a good enough PC to run that, when that thing drops, holy shit, everything goes out of the way, and that's on. I haven't yet, Darkens. I haven't. How about Super Mario Maker 2? Not really up my street, Hernandez. Not really up my street. It wouldn't really fit in with any of my themes at all, except for maybe Whatever Wednesday. And AdMech got a transport finally. What's AdMech? And I'm looking forward to finding the toaster. And Citizen, play both at once, 2 keyboards and mice. What, split stream, mutual streaming? Because keeping up with everything is not insane enough. And how you doing, Citizen Hismarker? And Citizen Sandtrooper, sorry, on my screen, your name colour has come up the exact same colour as Hernandez, and I thought that was Hernandez saying it. In my chat, it's coming up as a different colour. That's really curious. Citizen Sandtrooper, good evening. Welcome. Lots of lovely folks. Adeptus Mechanica. Oh, AdMech. They've actually got a transport unit, finally. You mean in the tabletop? Cool, what do they got? Feel free to drop a link for that in the chat if you want, dude. So yeah, Saturday, I should probably... Is the music still too loud? This one's coming a little bit louder. Anyway, went up, house party in Seven Sisters, a really good friend of mine who I haven't caught up with in quite a little while. And there it goes, it fades out. And yeah, brought a bottle of wine, saw a bunch of mutual friends. As a regular crowd, a load of folks go over. It's a super international crowd as well, because like people from about 5 different countries are always living in this house at any given time. So it's always a really good time. And I caught up with a couple of good mates of mine still in London. And God, Streamlabs is being an ass again. It hasn't even Soundtroop. I'm sorry, it hasn't even popped out as. Streamlabs hasn't even acknowledged it, detected it. So it's not just a case that it found it, but the alert didn't go off. That's so random, because the alert for Darkens came in with the 75 biddies just fine. I think maybe there's a big delay. I'm really sorry, mate. I haven't even got one to click to show you, but thank you. Thank you so much. Is that, well, Can you what sub twice? Is that even possible? Yeah, by all means, try. Go for it. Thank you, and thank you so much. We'll tell you what. As you're trying again, I'll hold back on the spiel. I'll hold back on the whole dancing and the raving and the welcome back bit to see if you can get it working. If you can't, I shall do it anyway. But I'm really sorry, didn't get the alert. Streamlabs, sort your fucking shit out. Seriously, yo, what the fuck? I'm not green. Yeah, the thing is, you're coming up in my chat in the real. Oh, what the hell? Gifting's working? What the shit? Well, either way, he's for every one of us. Stop for every one of us. Darkens, firstly, thank you kindly for gifting citizenship to Tajeldin Hernandez. Their Cravenstown visa is approved, and you are amazeballs. You need Darker. Well, thank you. Such a generous way to test it. And Hernandez, you are not just legit. You are Cravenstown legit. Welcome to the ranks of the citizenry. Enjoy the use of your all-new legit emoji. Folks, you know the drill. If you're a citizen, if you have a flag, hit that legit. Hit that legit. Let's give Hernandez some legitness. the most common bit of gamer slang on the internet, and the only place you'll actually get an emote that says it. Use it whenever someone says legit, does something legit, or you want to emphasize other emotes with legit, like hype and GG, and make them legit hype and legit GG. Wave your all-new Cravenstown town flag loud and proud every time you chat, provided you, or when if you're just lurking away, no worries at all. You'll be able to enter the June giveaway. We do a giveaway that's citizens only at the first stream of each month. And the next one will be the first stream we do in June, and that is not ruling out people who've got a gift, whether you've got a gift or you've got a regular one. Oh my goodness, Sand Trooper! Okay, what the hell? You did an anonymous gift. No, you did a random gift and it assigned it to Kraybot. Oh goodness. Right, that time it detected it, but the alert didn't go off. Let me try now. Let me just finish the spiel. Sorry, and Hernandez, if your Discord and your Twitch are integrated, if you decide to join, you're in Cravenstown, the full Discord, you will automatically be assigned a citizen role. And last but by no means least, my dying appreciation and gratitude for supporting the channel, and to Darkens once again for your 17th gifted visa on the channel. That's really, really kind. And Sand Trooper, now this one has shown up. This is really weird. A specific gifted sub, the alert is appearing. A resub, the alert isn't even being detected by Streamlabs. And a gift to the community that gets randomly assigned rather than being specifically chosen to give to someone is appearing, but the alert isn't going off. Boombot45354, thank you so much for the host, the Cravenstown minions cheer in your honor. But let me think. Well, it obviously did go through Sandtrooper because your flag is there. But what's really weird, Sandtrooper is the gifted one to Kraybot. I can do that. Streamlabs picked it up, but it didn't do the alert. So we've had 3 different kinds of scenarios. Why is it saying Kraybot has renewed his citizenship? That was right. Okay, Streamlabs is seriously bugged because that was a gift to the community randomly assigned by Twitch to Kraybot, and now it's putting it as Kraybot has renewed its sub, and the alerts aren't going off finally. He was gifted one earlier. Your sub went to the bot. No, Sand Trooper, it didn't. Your one went to you because you've got the flag by your name now. If you didn't have the flag by your name, if you got the flag by your name, your own sub has gone through. Oh, is the one that you're rocking a previous? Yes, of course. It was previously gifted, I think, on the 1 year streamiversary. Yeah, that's sometimes Kraybot randomly picks one up, but it helps. It means Kraybot can continue to use the legit emote. So thank you very much for that. It all supports the channel. That's the thing with random community gifts. There's no say to where to whom it will go. It could be some random view bot or anything like that. Now, I gave a gifted sub and it went to the bot. Yeah, I followed that. Yeah, Streamlabs has seriously shit the bed. Regular subs are not showing up. Specific gifted subs are, and community gifted subs are being detected but not doing the alert. Fucking Streamlabs, man. Anyway, yeah, I was at the house party. It was really, really good time, and thank you, all the generosity, everything, folks. It's really, really kind of you. Cheers. I love the stream today. Isn't this quality content? Isn't this just delightful? Yeah, I got no sleep. The problem is, it's not just that I had a wee tipple or 10. So I got there, bought my bottle of wine. I had a Cersei goblet given to me because I'm like one of about 2 British people in this whole group. Oh, Darkens has got a hunt underway. Let's jump in on a hunt. But yeah, I got through a whole bottle of wine, and my friend Gabrielle, he brought a huge bottle of Bombay Sapphire gin, and we got pretty legless. And the whole party was a really, really good time. It was a welcoming in a new housemate to this house that they lived in, and it was really, really good fun. But I got no rest. So not only have I had to push through a hangover, I haven't even been able to process and soak some of it with the mixed delights of alcohol-ridden sleep. So forgive me if I'm a little bit more subdued. My energy's a bit struggling, a bit rusty. But after last week, I was feeling genuinely down. I really was having a very, very bad day, and I couldn't do Story Sunday. And I'm like, right, I'm up and I'm able to do it. I'm just a little bit tired, a little bit kind of, but that's no excuse to come back. And I want to get some pillars in, because the amount of times we've done pillars every other week is insane. And I also really want to try, after the success, like I say, of Krayven Reads Reddit on the 1 year anniversary, I was like, well, alright, let's see if this whole reading voice thing has got some stuff to it. And Sand Trooper says, on Friday, I apparently puked after drinking, then within 30 seconds was drinking out the vodka bottle straight up. Hero. How do you do a H with your finger in? Oh, I'm dead clever. Look at that. Sand Trooper. You are now Hero Trooper. That is seriously solid dedication. You are clearly younger than me, because you remind me of me 15 years ago. No worries. Thanks a lot, but I appreciate that. That is really, really kind. It's all positivity. It's always positivity here. I wanna sort of bring the good content. It's better to not do a half-assed show. Sorry, it's better to not do a show than do a half-assed show. Now, I think, what are we going to do? We're up against a plated dust viper as we desperately... Darkens, we did it. We nailed it. Fuck you, plated dust viper, you goddamn pests in the badlands south of Cravenstown. Okie dokie. I think it's time to read some Reddit. So, I am going to start with the community requested ones, the ones you folks have put in the links, the ones you folks have put in the suggestion forum as the ones you particularly want me to read. So this was badges with a hint of sexual harassment. Let me just check who did this. I think this was you, Darkens. Let me see. Suggestion forum, here we are. Yes, this is the most latest one. So this is Darkens. Oh, and I saw you got a new avatar of that excellent little Pokemon drawing you did. I like your new avatar. Sorry I didn't comment on that before. All right, so in r/I don't work here lady, badges with a hint of sexual harassment, posted 7 hours ago and already getting upvoted quite a lot. So, we don't wear uniforms at work, but we have lanyards with keys and photo ID cards on them. Being asked, do you work here, is a constant annoyance, and my co-worker got so fed up with it he took a stand. He started with, no, I just really like keys, or no, I just love myself so much I wear photos of myself on my chest. But then he got more creative. I once heard him say, I'm legally obligated by court order to wear this badge at all times. Another time he said, I'm an undercover cop, we think this place is a front or something. The complaint that finally got him canned makes for interesting reading. So being posed the question of, do you work here? He looked the woman dead in the eye and said, pretending to be a sales assistant is my kink. I'm deep in roleplay right now. Oh my god. He then grinned at her in a really creepy way. Quote, and said, could you demand to speak to my manager? That'd be so hot. I'm a woman, was the poster, and don't get me wrong, that was unacceptable, but when I read that, I couldn't stop laughing, and I'm not alone. When we gathered all the staff together and to explain, they all did... When we gathered all the staff together to explain, they all did the face when you're trying to look horrified without smiling. And edit, just as a little reference, I'm not being against being asked, do you work here? It's a totally legit question. And to be honest, it barely registers with me anymore. I included it because it was the guy's trigger. Also, I can't control what I find humorous. As funny as I found it, he acted unprofessionally and he deserved to be fired. I'm not condoning his behaviour at all. That is fucking funny. That is actually an amazing way to just really, really deal with an absolute wind-up. That's a nice one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed, Darkens. Next one we got, malicious compliance. So in malicious compliance, which is people conforming to the letter but not the spirit of a request. Required, posted 9 days ago. So a couple of these are for suggestions I was given for previous Sunday. Required by the military to give a proper greeting of the day. Okay. So, not sure if this will fit amongst these great stories, but here goes. Way back when I was in the military, as most vets can verify, lower ranks of service members are required to render the greeting of the day to higher ranking members. So if it's an officer, you render a salute followed by a good morning, sir or ma'am, or good afternoon, sir or ma'am. If enlisted, just a simple good morning, sergeant, or good morning, first sergeant. You get the picture. So I had a platoon sergeant that hated my guts with a passion. I know because he told me quite often. He even told me many times that he wished he could just choke me to death rather than look at me. Wow. Do you work here, sir? To this day, I hate this asshole and his favourite NASCAR driver, Jimmy Johnson. Random. Incidentally, he only lives about 2 hours away from where I live now, and he's still an arsehole. So for weeks on end, he would make these types of comments, and eventually I'd had enough and started being a smart-ass back to him. Now, most of this happened under each other's breath, or when no one was around to hear each other talking shit to each other. Then my own natural paranoia got a hold of me, and at times I felt like he was trying to set me up to really say something stupid so that he could write me up. NJP or whatever, because I was getting to where I would say stuff in front of people, including corporals or sergeants. I don't know what NJP means. When I would say something, he'd get a little shit-eating grin on his face. So one day it dawns on me that I'm supposed to give the proper greeting of the day to this asshat, report my post to him if I'm standing post, etc. A couple of days later, we're at work and he does his natural routine, probably told me he wanted me dead or something, and I simply said, "Good morning, Sergeant," then began to report to my post like I'm supposed to. He plays the game the first time and listens. Next time we work same routine, he's making rounds, comes to my post, greeting of the day. Next time we work the same routine, he's making rounds, comes to my post, greeting of the day, and begins to report my post. He cuts me off with a "carry on," and something derogatory, but I don't remember. This goes on for a couple of weeks to the point he orders me not to report to my post. But you know, the whole 6th General Order says I'm supposed to report to my post, so I continue. Oh, supposed to report my post, so I continue. Seeing this arsehole get pissed off every time I gave the proper greeting multiple times a day just filled my heart with delight. It was even better when I'd give the greeting and reply with "shut the fuck up, Smooze 420, which is the posted guy, and I'd reply with "aye aye, Sergeant," and he'd get more pissed. By the time I left, I was saying "good morning, Sergeant, how are you today?" with a big ass grin on my face. He wouldn't hardly talk to me anymore. Very good. Not a bad one. Actually, not even conforming to the letter. That is conforming to the spirit with the request and ended up pissing the guy off. And what have we got? Oh, now this one is one I haven't seen before. It's in No Sleep, posted 8 days ago. It's gotten fairly popular. So No Sleep is a subreddit for realistic horror stories. Everything is true here, even if it's not. All right. This is quite a long one. It's a little bit creepy. It's a little bit unsettling. Okay. So, and if you feel so inclined, folks, do feel free if you want to let put that tweet out to let folks know we're live and we're trying out this new little thing, this new little Krayven Reads Reddit. So, in No Sleep, every man in my family drowns on his 33rd birthday. Tomorrow I turn 33. I know, it's crazy, right? The first time I heard that every man in my family drowns on his 33rd birthday, I was 5 years old and my grandmother was trying to scare me back to bed. Jesus. She said the mermaids would come for me if I didn't do as I was told. Complete nonsense. At least I thought it was. My dad was in the Navy and drowned during a military training exercise that went tragically wrong. I never even knew him. My mum was 6 months pregnant at the time. It's not easy to raise a kid alone, I'm sure. But my grandmother and Aunt Jane, both on my father's side, were always there to help us. I never really knew anyone else on my father's side of the family. Granddad had died long before I was born, and Jane never married or had kids. After the first time Gran told me about the mermaids, she'd used the trick for years to keep me in line, telling me about their slimy tails, fangs and talon fingers, how my ancestor long ago had killed one of their kind only for a blood curse to be placed upon the men of each generation, the sins of the father and all that crap. I still can't believe I'm writing this, that any of this is happening. I hadn't thought about mermaids or the curse in decades. When I was 9, Mum caught Gran telling me about how I was going to die and forbade her from ever talking that nonsense again. Understandable. I remember that night perfectly. They'd screamed at each other by the end of it all. Gran insisted the curse was real and that I had taken her father-in-law, her husband, and that it had taken her father-in-law, her husband, and her son. That's when my mum broke down into tears and Gran finally relented. She never spoke of it again, but I always felt like I could see it in her eyes, a grim certainty and sympathy of sorts. Gran died in a car crash a few years later, and naturally I barely ever thought about her strange stories again. Except on... Whoa! Folks, hit that legit! Hit that legit! It's a massive Pine raid. The Visual Pine coming in with 25 raiders. Good evening and hello, Gold Ninja 100GN, Icicle Blue, SV Valentine, The Jennifer, not just any Jennifer, The Jennifer. Look at all these awesome Pine raiders, folks. Folks, can we get some legits? Can we get some legits for the Visual Pine and his lovely piney crew? I wish Piney Druid was here. Be so fitting. Folks, Kilroy 2K, welcome, welcome, one and all. Arcanus Omni, how you doing? How you doing? Folks, more legits, more legits. Look at all these absolutely legit people. Hit that legit. Welcome on in, folks. Welcome on in. Firstly,
our community
Gold Ninja,
grows.
thank you so much for the follow. Residency to Krayven's Town is granted. Lodgings are being prepared. Please ignore the screams. And Fluffy Marshmallow, what a delightful name. Good evening to you. How the devil are you? Welcome. If you haven't been here before, my name is Krayven. I'm a pure variety streamer, about the most British of all the British streamers on Twitch. No joke. And welcome to Krayven's Town. Welcome to Story Sunday. I'm trialing out a new thing today where I do an hour of Krayven Reads Reddit after it was fairly well received in my 1 year anniversary, my first year of streaming anniversary last week. And then for the remainder of the stream, so in about another half hour, I'll be moving on to Pillars of Eternity. Story Sunday is where I do very narratively rich things. People seem to like my reading voice for some reason, and I will focus on games that have very strong story and very strong narrative. So I'll have some Pillars of Eternity, some good old classic RPG stuff coming shortly. Icicle Blue, thank you so much. Residency to Krayven's Town is granted. We work a 37-hour day here. You'll get used to it, or you'll have a psychotic episode. And Lurky, back to Lurky Turkey. No worries, Gold Ninjas. Thank you so much for the lurk support. And if you want to lurk with silence, just mute the tab, and the view will still count. Thank you very, very kindly. Pillars is an awesome game. I did a blind playthrough of all of Pillars 1, completely did 100% of it, and I've loaded the characters into Pillars 2, so we've got that coming. And folks, without further ado, oh, I'm not in the actual chat thingy, I must give a special level select shout out to the Visual Pine. Now, I know a bunch of you in my community like indie games, and we have our indie day on Tuesdays. Try out Tuesday. Pine, Visual Pine, is a real indie aficionado. He's always doing indie games, or a lot of the time. There really is jam. He's really good at them. He does really engaging content. He's also a member of the level select community, one of the only 2 communal streaming Discords that I'm in. It is a very, very decent community, and the folks in it are genuinely good. One of the few that doesn't do follow for follow wankery, or is some scam with some guy at the top trying to get all the followers of everyone joining. It's great. He's really good. I heartily encourage you to go and drop him a follow. Check out some of his content. He was doing a bit of Graveyard Keeper today. He's done Sunless Skies like myself. He's done Darkest Dungeon, any good indie gem, and he's on it like Donkey Kong. So yeah, please do check him out. Well, no worries, Pine. No worries, Pine. Thank you so much for bringing your awesome community over here. And welcome, folks. pleasure to have you here. Stay a while and listen. If you want to know more about my content and what I do, check out the schedule in the channel panel information below, as I do different things on every day. Fully themed, Story Sunday, Mellow Out Monday, Try Out Tuesday, Whatever Wednesday, Tactical Thursday, Future Past Friday, and Special Saturday. And I stream 4 days of the week, usually Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So there should be something for everyone. I encourage you to stick around, and just thank you so much for coming over in the raid. It's really, really kind of you. Very kind indeed. We're midway through a horror story about every man in my family drowns on his 33rd birthday. So that's how far I'm down. She never spoke of it again. I always felt like I could see it in her eyes, a grim certainty, a sympathy of sorts.
Our community grows.
Arcanus Omni, thank you so much for the follow. Residency to Cravenstown is granted. A Craybot will be down to help you with your lodgings to your habitation pod shortly. Take up your residence whenever you see fit. Gran died in a car crash a few years later, and naturally I barely ever thought about her strange stories again, except on every birthday. Oh, Jesus! Darkest. Oh, no worries, Pine. Go get yourself some munch. Go get yourself some well-earned, scrummy, yummy foodie in your tummy. Excellent. Thanks so much. Darkens, thank you for the 75 biddies. And if you haven't been here before, it's a troll alert. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Gran died in a car crash a few years later, and I naturally barely ever thought about her strange stories again, except on every birthday. I try not to, but damn, when your own grandmother keeps insisting you're gonna die on your 33rd birthday, I dare you to not try thinking about it as the years tick closer. I mean, I always brushed the thoughts off, or I did until last year, my 32nd birthday. I couldn't help myself. I did one of those genealogy surveys and started digging into my family on Dad's side. That's when shit got scary. My dad's death checked out as expected, dying on his 33rd birthday. Then I looked at my grandfather's date of death, December 2nd, 1954. Cause of death, drowning. I remember breathing in sharply at the cause of death. I shook it off and checked the date of birth, December 2nd, 1921, 33 years. That's when I jumped out of my chair in a panic. It's also the last thing I remember from my 32nd birthday. I hit the liquor pretty hard after that. About a week later, I hired a professional genealogist to dig through the family history. He came back to me a week later, incredulous. Every single paternal son... Oh, goodness me, sorry, I scrolled down too far. Where was I? Every single paternal son in my family had died on their 33rd birthday. Every single death he could account for was listed as drowning. He'd even traced the phenomena back to a Navy frigate that sank somewhere off the northern coast of Spain during the Napoleonic Wars in 1812, a ship called the Charon. You did get me that time, Dark. It's very well done, and thank you so much. Gotta be honest with you, my life's gone down the shit can since I found all this crazy shit out. I've been drinking a lot. Oh, that's quite sad. Hell, I got fired from my job after things went too far. That barely slowed me down. I mean, I've never been in the fucking sea. The idea always freaked me out given the way my dad died. I've been thinking about him a lot this past year. How did he know about all this too? How did he handle it? I hate the answers my mind gives back. Maybe I'm just weak. He carried on doing what he loved, right till the last moment. Me, I spent the supposed final year of my life sinking into financial and emotional ruin. Oh, Jesus. I'd avoided telling my mum about any of this for the past year. In fact, I hadn't seen her in 9 months. When I finally showed up at her front door, drunk as a skunk one night, she took me in, cleaned me up, and listened to all of my craziness. At the end of it all, she told me it was in my head. How could it possibly be true? Maybe we need to go see the doctors. There must be something wrong with me. We argued just like she and Gran had, then I left, angry. I never even said goodbye. 3 days ago, I started having the same dream over and over again. Strobes of light as this oily mass of wet flesh and bones crawled towards me, climbing over my legs, my body lying there paralysed, immersed in dark, fetid waters. I can hear myself screaming in the dream, trying to make my arms fight it off, but nothing happens. I can feel its sharp fingers, talons even, ripping my skin as it grips harder and harder, crushing the bones buried beneath. Then it's above me, and all I can see is a black void of horror staring back, and I can't stop screaming. That's how I wake up, pissing myself screaming. I just stripped my bed again and started writing this. I'm looking at the clock now. It's 11:42. I turned 33 in 18 minutes. I don't want to die. Whoa, okay, that was a bit different. And that was posted 8 days ago. That person, whoever he is, Wolf Beaumont is the poster, has got to have some of the worst luck. It's like that kind of probability of you get 100 infinite monkeys on typewriters, and one of them will statistically write out the complete works of Shakespeare. And this is like one of those colossal statistical anomalies. I mean, that is crazy. That is genuinely crazy. And some of the comments after this. So, lock yourself in the room until the 24 hours is up. Make sure there's no water source with you. I want to just see. I just want to see if everything's kind of anything about. There's oh, there's no further replies. But Jesus, that's gotten in his head because his gran told him it initially as a horror story to like get him to get scared into bed, and it's given him colossal freaking anxiety and terror. All right, we'll try and move towards something a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more. But that was a very interesting one to share. So thank you to who posted that one in. Duncan, Citizen Duncan of Florence. That was a bit different, but that was a good and interesting story. Hey, Hernandez. Wait, do you have a scratch on your nose? Yes, unfortunately, I think I just, sometimes if you need to cut your nails and you haven't gotten around to it and you might have scratch yourself in your sleep. I think I scratched myself in my sleep because I literally woke up with this little gash on my nose. I was like, what the hell did that come from? It's just a trivial little thing, but yeah, I think I just sort of, and I did something tossing in my sleep, and I woke up with this teeny tiny little scratch. I appreciate you noticing. Now let's go to Tifu. If you don't know what Tifu is on Reddit, folks, Tifu stands for Today I Fucked Up, and some of it is absolute gold. It's just RTIFU, Today I Fucked Up, and it's amazing. And I saw one, I'm just looking at what's hot in the last couple of days. This one's amazing. It was posted a day ago. It's already got 73,000 upvotes. And it sounds a bit sketchy, but don't worry, I did give this a little bit of a proofreading before I brought it up. It's kind of amazing. So, today I fucked up by asking Reddit which ethnic group to exterminate. It's not as bad as it sounds. So, today I'd been looking forward to the qualifying for the Formula 1 this weekend, and I was browsing Reddit whilst also watching some older Formula 1 footage on YouTube. So it got me wondering, some of these races used to really get me super excited for them. Now they're just boring and far too controlled. So I posed the question to Reddit r/Formula 1 to ask their opinions. Shortly after posting, it transpired that the way I had asked the question could be perceived as a little Hitlerish. He says, check out the link below, so I did. And he's put the post in r/Formula 1 as, if you could eliminate a race within the year, which would it be and why? Now this is in the Formula 1 subreddit, but yeah, poor fucking choice of words. So, that being the link, it somehow grabbed the attention of many people, wonder why, and managed to get to number 1 of r/all. Like, all across all of Reddit, it got to the number 1 thread, and now my inbox is broken. Unfortunately for me, I am very anally retentive with things such as emails, texts, etc., that I must open every single one. It would actually play on my mind so badly that I wouldn't be able to sleep if I didn't open them. So I must open and read every goddamn comment. Probably the worst thing to have to feel the need to do if you plan on making it to the front page. I thought it was slowing down because it got to a point where I was reading messages faster than they were coming, and the number of notifications was going down. But then everything, he's got a line crossed out, everything changed when the fire, it just says, then the USA woke up. I've been playing catch up ever since. I took an opportunity to make this post since the message count was less than 100. Let's see what I go back to now. And then he's got a few edits. He's like, thank you for all the gildings you're all giving me. It's rather overwhelming. The original post has now made its #1 post of all time in Reddit/Formula One somehow. As of 8 p.m. GMT, I think today actually, I still have over 600 responses to read through. I will be reading them all, but I won't necessarily be responding to them all. I'm really glad that I can make a lot of you smile and laugh today. That wasn't the original intention, but it's a great positive to take away from this experience. Update 2, around 20 past 8 p.m. I opened up Alien Blue on my iPad to read these comments faster on the official Reddit app. When it started from now, I had 934 unread messages. 20 minutes later, the messages are making up some replies. Now I have 976. Oh my god, this poor guy. Edit 3, I did have my inbox down to 900 at one point, but now it's back up to the 4 digits. I'm seriously sleep deprived. I've been awake since 4 p.m. yesterday, unable to sleep due to coughing fits. They finally subsided. I'm really tired now, so I shall pick up reading and responding tomorrow. Good night to you all. Very bizarre experience. I honestly didn't think this Tfue post would blow up like my first post, but it seems to have done so much faster and on a much larger scale. Yeah, slightly more popular subreddit. Finally, I'm able to read the comments and messages faster than they're coming in. This is edit number 4, back down under 1,000 left to go. It's been a truly interesting experience. I didn't realize how quickly and openly people would comment something racist. Oh dear. I also didn't expect some of the truly deplorable messages I've received. Oh my god, yeah, you must have had all the alt-right and the freaking like neo-Nazis coming like kind of, oh, I'd get rid of insert horrible comment here. But thankfully they've been in the minority. Well, that's good. 6 a.m. GMT, so time to soldier on till I get to the end of the inbox. Edit 5, final edit. I'm now up to date with my inbox. It's 10:17 a.m. It's been great to see this happen. I'm so sorry for those of you who thought Reddit was accepting casual racism for a brief moment. That is outstanding. And the fuck up was not, well, he's got a double fuck up there. Not only a hilariously misread post, but what strikes me as borderline obsessive compulsive disorder. That is really, really, really harsh. That was a nice one. That was cool. Right. Oh, go on then. Posted 1 hour ago. Oh, hang on. Today I fucked up as a zombie. Posted 1 day ago. It's lighting up. I worked as an undead and unpaid cast member in my friend's zombie movie. Yesterday was the end of production, prompting the cast and crew to go ham all damn night. It's, if you don't know British slang, that is to go really hard drinking. Both the living and the dead were shit-faced in no time. Come home around 2 this morning in full zombie makeup. I was staggering all over the apartment, knocking into chairs and stepping on chargers and shit. Never be an undead drunk in the dark, folks. Eventually, my room appeared in front of me. All I had to do was simply open that door, walk in, and go to bed. Done. No fuss, no mess, no dumbass fuck-up post. But there I was, pausing in my front room with an ominous grin on my face. I turned around and snuck into my roommate's room. Zombie walked towards his bed and climbed on top. I stood over my unconscious roommate in a crooked posture with my arms out. My God, I cleared my throat and I did my most badass zombie growl. It's like, or some shit like that. The night lamp went on and that's when I said, I'm gonna feast on your soul, motherfucker. Oh my God. Little did I know, it wasn't my roommate laying in that bed. It was my roommate's fucking fiance. Oh shit. I said, oh shit, the moment I noticed, but it was too late. The fiance screamed her lungs out and kicked me in the damn balls. I plummeted to the ground, cupping my cock and groaning in absolute agony. So my roommate stormed into the room and found his frantic fiance and zombified friend both in tears. Drunk me had no knowledge of my roommate's fiance being in town, nor that he would be in the bathroom when she was in the bedroom. That is amazing. TLDR, turned into a zombie, pranked the wrong person, got kicked in the nuts, instant ow. That is outstanding. I should actually upvote that one. That was pure gold. That is absolute class. Where's another one? Where's another one that's lighting up? That's good. Oh, goodness me. No, that's a bit excessive. Today I fucked up by recording pornography for family night movies. Oh, yes. Alright, another little short one. Okay, so this was actually a long time ago, 1995, I guess. Wow, that's a really long time ago. The movie was While You Were Sleeping. We had one of those Zenith cheaters boxes and a programmable VCR. For those of you who are a bit younger in the audience, that's a video cassette recorder when videos were on giant tapes with all the bells and whistles. My parents told me to set up recording for While You Were Sleeping the night before so we could watch it. Well, the thing is that late night pay-per-view switches over to porn. So we all sat down with the family. My brother and I are about the same age, but my parents had two more kids 10 years later, and they were only had two more kids 10 years later, and they were only like 4 and 1 year old at the time. Another problem with recording that late is that the porno movies had different lengths. They started at different times. As soon as we hit play, there was that little bit of V-sync going on from the first part of VHS tapes, and when the video cleared, it was some dude railing a chick. I've never seen my parents so nimbly leap over the fucking coffee table like they were Harrison Ford. We call it the before you were sleeping incident. TLDR, I showed pornography to little kids. Not bad. Let's jump to a few that are hot in the month, so the last little part, and then we'll jump over. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll jump over to Pillars of Eternity. So, hot, let's do top. Not just today, past 24 hours. Let's, top of the week. Oh, go on then. Top of the week. Today I fucked up by accidentally getting sexual with my dentist. Again? Oh, God, okay. I'm a 32-year-old woman who can never go back to my new dentist after 2 visits because I'm an idiot. My dentist is very nice and is a very nice and professional man. Our first appointment was going pretty smoothly until he made some innocuous remark about us being strangers. My immediate reply was, "Oh, you're not a stranger. You've been inside my mouth for 20 minutes." Oh, God. I did not intend to make a sexual joke. His face turned red, and he was clearly embarrassed, but he continued on like a true professional, and we were probably both relieved when the appointment was over. I had my second dentist appointment today. I actually mentally prepared myself to be a model patient who didn't say anything weird, thank you very much. He had been working in my mouth for about 5 minutes when he started to seem really uncomfortable or something. His face was red and he was breathing a little heavier. I was a bit concerned and also confused, like, how could I have embarrassed him this time? I had hardly spoken. So he keeps working in there, and then I realise what the hell is happening. My dentist was wearing grape-flavoured gloves. I had been absent-mindedly licking his fingers the whole time. Never going back. And TLDR, today I fucked up by licking my dentist. But seriously, why would you wear grape-flavoured gloves? What the hell do you think's going to happen? I'm on that lady's side. Oh, goodness me. Today I fucked up by taking LSD and pretending to be French for 10 months. Okay, this is a longer one. Hopefully this will be solid, and we'll make this the last one, and then we'll jump over to some Pillars of Eternity. So, throwaway for reasons, TLDR at the bottom. But we're going to do the whole story. We'll do the whole story. So, this was more of a fuck-up that happened quite a while ago, which I only just caught up to me a few weeks ago. So, also, it's not today. About 11 months ago, I moved into a new house as a temporary sort of thing until I could get the money together to sort something out properly. I was hoping to have already moved out by this point. On my second day, after I'd finished unpacking, I decided to break the house in with a nice acid trip, as you do. I brought some with me that I brought some with me that I'd recently bought, but not had the chance to use yet. Things were going well with the trip, but then it seemed to be getting really intense, and I quickly realised that the tabs were much stronger than I'd been told they were, and I thought being locked up in the unfamiliar house wasn't helping me relax. So I figured the best thing to do to relax would be to go for a stroll, because I was starting to get pretty overwhelmed at this point. So I left the house to start my walk, and my next door neighbour happened to be arriving at the same time. It's a street of tightly packed terraced houses, so next door's door is about 1 metre away from mine. I had not met anybody on my street yet and didn't realise this was a friendly, tight-knit community where people talk to each other. She said something along the lines of, "Hello, nice to meet you, my name's..." her name. "Are you new to the area?" So I basically do this thing sometimes when people try to sell me things in the street, etc., where I pretend I can't speak English. I remember a few words from my GCSE French, so I just say some nonsense sentences, and then people usually leave me alone. In the state I was in, this conversation seemed like it'd be way too intense for me, and French just sort of came to me as a default response to the situation. My exact words were, "Je voudrais une boulangerie," one of my favourite lines to use, and I shrugged my shoulders a bit with a weak smile. She pretty much just left me to it after that, and I got on my way. I did my walk and I got home about 2 hours later. I was tripping majorly, so the walk ended up taking a lot longer than it needed to. When I got home, though, my next door neighbour was stood in her doorway talking to another neighbour who was stood outside. I tried to keep my head down because I couldn't handle any more human interaction, but she waved at me and said bonjour, so I instinctively returned the bonjour and got inside the house as fast as possible. When I got in, I started freaking out straight away because I realised that I'd just become French, and now 2 of the neighbours think I can't speak English. The next day, when I woke up, I realised the best thing I could do, as an Englishman, was to just live with the lie for the rest of my short stay in his house to avoid the excruciating embarrassment of having pretended to be French for seemingly no reason. Fast forward 10 months, I still live here, and at this point I'm in deep. My life on this street is a web of lies. I perfected my French accent, and over the course of 10 months, French me has learned a decent amount of English so he can hold a disjointed conversation. I'd gotten to know the neighbours pretty well, and I was the nice, quirky French guy on the street. I didn't let the lie slip ever, because every day and every conversation I had just meant it would be even worse if anyone ever discovered I wasn't French. If I had friends come over, I don't have many, so it wasn't too bad. They knew to never speak to the neighbours because of my strange situation. Most of them found it amusing, at least. Things were going okay, and I wasn't too worried about being exposed anymore because I'd gotten used to it. I'm not home that much, and when I am, I rarely leave the house for any reason, so I only had to do it for maybe 5 minutes a day when I was out on my street. If anything, it was a nice way to spice up my day when I got to take on my French persona. French me somehow had much better social skills than the real me, even if his English was a bit limited. It's interesting. But then there was the day it all came crashing down. I was walking to my car and saw one of the neighbours coming toward me from the opposite direction with someone else next to her I didn't realise. She stopped to say hi, as she normally does, and then she says to her friend, "This is..." his name, "the guy I was telling you about." You might be able to see where this is going. I think I do. Her friend hits me with a question in French that I didn't understand a word of, and I knew he was actually French straight away because his accent was way better than mine. I didn't know what to do, and I just froze. Every second that went past just made it so much more painful, and after way too long of a pause, I just decided to come clean. I told her I wasn't actually French and couldn't speak French, and then tried to play it off like some kind of practical joke I've been doing on everyone. Nobody was buying that. I fast walked straight to my car and then let the embarrassment just swallow me for a while. I haven't spoken to any of my neighbours since, some of which I'd struck up a friendly relationship with over those 10 months. I make sure nobody is around now when I leave the house, and I do a loop around the block in my car if any of my neighbours are walking down the street when I get home, so I never come into contact with them. Every time I think about the day I was discovered, the embarrassment physically hurts me. Good God, that is such an English thing. I can totally relate. Now, I wouldn't get caught in a lie like that, but that is culturally... Right, I made a small mistake on one of my new neighbours. I must keep this charade up for the rest of my life. Oh, edit. I didn't think this post was going to catch so much attention, and I'm praying none of my neighbours use Reddit and see this and decide to come over and talk to me about all this. Some people seem to have a hard time believing that I I kept it going for 10 months, that I thought keeping it going for 10 months would actually be a good idea. I like to remind people that when I've made the decision to keep this, it was supposed to be a very temporary living situation. That's pretty amazing, and that is entirely relatable. All right, folks, I do hope you've enjoyed a little bit of